Well, hello. Back again with another pen review. My name's Dan, aka Sebastian Santiago. Tell you that story one day. Today we have a Jinhao x350, which won't focus. X350, there you go. So this is a black cigar-shaped pen, which is relatively new at time of recording to Jinhao's lineup. To my knowledge, they're only available in black at the minute. Let me get rid of this. And they are available in fine, extra fine and medium nibs. Not sure if they offer their Fude nib with one of these. But I'm sure they may at some stage. So parts of the pen, it is your typical domed finials and straight clip, which is stiff but usable, and has no Jinhao shield, which I think is now a thing of the past. On the cap band you have x350 on one side and Jinhao on the other. This is a cartridge converter pen with cartridge included, cartridge converter included, Jinhao converter, and on the just above the threads to screw the cap barrel back in, you have an O-ring just to cushion as you tighten that up instantly. So you've got so it's a metal pen with lacquered finish, and you do have metal threads going into metal threads. A little bit rattly as you tighten that up. Don't know if you can hear that. Not outrageous. It tightens well and securely, but I just tend to notice that when I'm tightening, untightening. Medium nib, steel. I would tend to ignore that 18K gold plate there. Don't think that's true. Engraved Jinhao. You've got the kind of bitone gold and silver in there, and plastic feed. So this particular one is a medium nib section. So black, smooth, not like the x450 and the x750 have the kind of ergonomic indentations in the section. So this one's a smooth one, which is kind of why I got it actually. Cap threads, they are metal there, but they're nice and smooth. I don't find that uncomfortable if I'm brushing up the cap threads there. For measurements of the pen, I was a bit conscious that I was just rambling on and boring even myself. So, measurements of the pen. Pause, screenshot, good, done. So that's measurements. The pen does post securely. See, I'm not generally a poster unless it's a shorter pen. I just feel like I'd probably like to post this. It's just on that little bit smaller in my hand. Probably more to do with the girth rather than the length. But if I do post that, I do find it becomes a bit back heavy with the cap on there. So I haven't quite found my own happy medium with that one. Excuse the hair. see it right. As soon as I stabilize my equipment, my apologies. This is where it all comes unraveled. So we have the Jinhao x350 medium steel nib. Let me just try and zoom without destroying the place. Sorry, I had to stabilize my makeshift recording equipment there. The ink in here is diamine, O'Donnell, so today, unusually, I reckon, this is why I don't talk and write. Going to try and make a clever comment about how today the quick brown fox was going to do the same old thing, but I can't talk and write, as I proved with this instant here. So writes well. Reasonably wet. Not quite nicely wet. So steel nib. No pressure. It's about a medium, I would say. You can get a little bit of variation out of that with a bit of pressure, but go easy because you don't want to wreck your nib. You get a pretty smooth writing experience with this, if I'm honest. I have in the past had the odd hard start, but it's running quite well today. On the whole, Jinhao nibs are pretty decent these days, I find. So you will get the odd dud, but this one's pretty solid. Bit of fast writing. That keeps up nicely. Can't see any skips there. So perhaps the previous issues were me. Yeah, so it's a reasonably solid offering. I do have a couple of issues though. Let me just zoom myself back out a little bit. Here we go. So I've got a couple of issues. Let me just flip this over with the focus. So see the cap band loose. I think honestly that came loose through no incident that I remember happening. It just happened to happen a couple of days after I got it. So that is this. So the cap's still solid, it's not in danger of coming off, but that does spin and you get a bit of rattle on that, which becomes a bit annoying. I did mention the nib issue of a a little bit hard start, skippy. But as time's gone on, that does seem to have settled down a little bit. The cap finial will unscrew, which I noticed accidentally. May have been fiddling with it without too much effort. Doesn't come off by itself, I don't think, but the cap does still remain in place there. That's not going to completely come to pieces, but it just don't know. It does move the impression from inexpensive into a cheaper feel. Just with these little bits. It's not the first cap band issue I've had with the Jinhao. Bear with me. So if we bring my tray back in, do a bit of size comparison, but so I do have an x159, and there's also a slightly different issue, but if I send the cap, that's not going anywhere because this bottom half here is loose from this now. That was after a couple of weeks, so I have to pinch that in order to uncap it. So there are a couple of cap band issues with Jinhao, but for a bit of comparison with other Jinhaos, so here we have the x350, the x159, we have an x450, we've got the 100 Centennial, which is the duofold clone, and we've got the 51A, I think, and then the 992. Should have started further away. And then the 82, which is the Progress Slim impression, should we say. And then just for size, wrong pen. Just for size, we've got a Lamy Safari there as well. And I got my daughter's permission to use her Safari this time. So it's a nice little pen. Its cousin, the x350, which is the newer one, which came out about the same time as this, I think is slightly bigger, but I don't have one yet. So I might take a look at that, but that does have the ergonomic indentation that you'll also find on the 450, which I'm not a massive fan of. It doesn't bug me too much, I suppose, but I just prefer the sleeker barrel. But I might pick one of them up at some stage. These go in the UK. I think I got mine on Amazon for around about £10. So it's going to be equivalent-ish, whether you're dollars or euros or wherever you might be. You can pick them up direct from places like AliExpress, a bit cheaper, but a longer wait in delivery. So that is up to you. It's decent all-round pen. It's not my favourite Jinhao, if I'm honest. I find it a little bit thin for myself, and despite the weight being not bad for a pen this size, like 33 grams, cap that is, I don't know, it just feels a little bit lighter in my hand for some reason. I think it's the girth thing, but good all-round pen. Little issues aside, but writes well. It's a tenner. Decent everyday carry. Stick that in your work pocket. You're not bothered whether that goes stray, gets dropped. It's a tough pen as well. So yeah, it's ideal for the shirt pocket, or it would be for me if it didn't rattle in my shirt pocket with this cap band. But anyway, not bad. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like button, and I'll see you another time. Take care. Bye-bye.